All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for our Tech Tuesday webinar. Uh, again, all your time is valuable. We're going to be talking today about AI and machine learning and cybersecurity. While this is not a magic bullet, it's not going to change the world. It is a powerful ally to help you in the battle against cybercrime. Today, I'm going to be presenting. My name is Greg. I'm the host. We've got the man behind the curtain. He's the man who makes everything run smoothly. He's really the magic sauce for this whole webinar. He's the guy who does webinar presentations, or I should say, he prepares the webinar presentations. He is the master of web design and marketing. So if you need a web design that's really going to wow your customers, Ben's got the marketing campaign that really grabs attention, like a puppy in a superhero costume. Just lets them know what's going on. Uh, so I've been with Excaltech for since 2022, and Ben's been around for I think 13 years. So he's got a lot of expertise in the area of web design and marketing. If you've got any questions, go ahead and put your hand up. Ben will allow for questions in the chat. He's probably got you all muted right now, but if you do have anything you want to say, please don't hesitate. You're welcome to interject at any point here.
Yeah, and I'll just step in real quickly and thank you, Greg, for the kind words. Welcome, everybody. Just a couple quick housekeeping items before we begin. What you see on this slide right here is a screenshot of some of the icons that you're going to be seeing in your Teams meeting. That number one there is the mic. So as Greg mentioned, I have everybody muted. We do kindly ask that you all stay muted throughout the presentation. We will have a Q&A session at the very end, but we do ask, again, that you stay muted throughout the session. We will be utilizing the chat in this meeting throughout the presentation. So that's going to be the icon there with the number 2 under it on the left. So we will be submitting a couple of questions to you guys throughout in the chat. And at that time, we would ask that you go ahead and just type in your answer into the chat and submit it back to us so we can just kind of gauge where everybody's at. Also, if you do have a question during the presentation, feel free to submit that in the chat as well. I'm going to be kind of taking note of any questions that get submitted, and we'll make sure that we address all of those at the end. And then that number 3 is the raise icon. That's basically to virtually raise your hand. So when we do get to the end of the presentation and we're ready to start that Q&A, rather than everybody just try and start asking questions at once, we just kindly ask that you use that raise your hand feature, and then we'll call on you as we get to you, and we'll make sure to address your question at that time. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and move on to the next slide, and I'll let Greg begin.
Excellent. And thanks again, Ben. So today we're diving into the evolution of antivirus solutions and how next-gen AV is changing the game. Traditional antivirus has been around for decades, but the landscape of threats has evolved. Businesses need more robust solutions, more robust protections, and intelligent solutions. And that's where the next-gen AV steps in. How next-gen AV works, unlike classic AV, which relies on signature-based detection, next-gen AV uses AI machine learning and behavioral analysis to predict and prevent threats before they can cause harm. We'll get into the cost value a little bit of why next-gen AVs, they might have a higher upfront cost, but its ability to prevent breaches and reduce downtime can save businesses significant money in the long run. Classic versus next-gen AVs, you've got your classic AV, which is reactive. It really identifies known threats. And real quick, I'll throw a definition out here for you. You've probably heard people say zero-day threat in the past, and you might not know exactly what that means. But a zero-day threat is a previously unknown vulnerability in either software or hardware, and it can be exploited. And the term zero-day refers to the fact that the exploit occurs before the first day any security vendor has become aware of it. So when somebody says zero-day threat, that just means it's not been cataloged yet by any security provider. So just quick education there. So as far as detection methods, the new detection method is real-time monitoring, anomaly detection, predictive analysis to catch zero-day threats. So it's looking for behavior versus known offenders. So business impact, the result is reduced risk, better compliance, stronger overall security posture, and it allows businesses to operate with confidence in today's threat-heavy environment. We can go on to the next slide. So first question for you guys. What is antivirus software? You can submit an answer in the chat. Then I think you got the question up for everyone.
Yep, it's been posted there.
All right. So take a second here, just kind of taking a temperature check here for what everyone's understanding is for what antivirus is to start off. And the correct answer obviously is B. We're using virtual ice. We're keeping you guys cool. So, no, everyone obviously good job. Everyone has some understanding of what antivirus is. You understand the basics. Excellent. All right, so we can go next slide here, Ben. Oh, 1 second here. So when it comes to protecting your business, the ability to detect and prevent and remove malicious software like viruses, worms, and trojans, and ransomware is absolutely critical. Modern solutions actively scan files and monitor systems in real time, ensuring that no suspicious behavior goes unnoticed. The proactive approach not only identifies existing threats, but also prevents new ones from taking hold. The next gen antiviruses are 90% of the time, it's actually 91% of the time now responsible for identifying and then cataloging the new threats out there. So classic antivirus is really only responsible for protecting you 9% of the time. That doesn't sound effective to me. We can go next slide, Ben. So you can think of antivirus like a traditional police officer who's out on patrol. Your traditional AV is like a police officer who is only looking for known offenders. Essentially, they're checking the wanted list. They've got a list of people who they know are bad who are out there. If you're not on that list, you can slip right by and go about your malicious activity, even if you're clearly up to no good. On the other hand, next gen AV is like an engaged police officer who's out there observing behavior. They don't just rely on a list of bad people who have already been identified. They're watching for specific activity. If they see somebody shady hanging around a locked door with a crowbar, or somebody who's, attempting to access a port 1,000 times every minute, they realize that's probably not good behavior, and they take action to lock that behavior down today in real time. So that's what the power of next gen AV. It's really the ability to detect bad behavior in real time and take action immediately without your action, without any without any input from you as the user. So let's go on and let's take another second for a question here on the next slide. How does AI play a role in antivirus software based on what I've told you so far here today? We've got three answers. It helps identify and block new threats by analyzing patterns and behaviors in real time. B, it sends a robot to physically fight the hackers that are attacking your network. Or C, it prints out a threat of potential threats and you can manually address those. Again, you guys, the correct answer is always going to be B. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. It's the robots. Okay, it's not the robots. You guys are good students. I appreciate that you're paying attention, and it definitely does identify it analyzes new threats in real time. Great engagement, guys. Thanks for paying attention here and answering the questions. I appreciate that. We can go next slide here, Ben. And you're already on the next slide. I apologize. You're ahead of me here. So, business impact, proactive protection, proactive cybersecurity helps businesses stay ahead of threats by identifying and addressing vulnerabilities before they're exploited. This minimizes the risk of data breaches, downtime, and financial losses. It helps to ensure smooth operations by preventing attacks early. This helps you to maintain customer trust, comply with regulations, and safeguard your reputation in a competitive market. Small businesses are really at risk. I don't know if this is a well-known fact, but approximately 60% of small businesses close within 6 months of a cyber attack due to financial strain or reputational damage. The operational disruption is just unbelievable. We've had customers or prospective customers come to us after attacks and it's the fact, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Only 40% are able to recover after an attack. It's better if you can prevent it. You don't want to be in the 60% that have to close your doors. Many companies lack the resources to recover. It's just, it's incredibly important to take measures before a breach occurs. It's so much cheaper to prevent a breach than to clean it up. The cost here on my slide says $200,000 to $300,000, and the companies that I've seen have to clean up after an event have all had bills that were bigger than that. This is the average, but the number is growing every year. The the the, the numbers that are paid by the bigger companies, the enterprises, are in the millions. These coupled with downtime and just the devastation to your reputation are almost impossible to recover from in a lot of cases. There are rising threats, there are new malware threats out there every 0.2 seconds. So traditional signature-based antiviruses are just not the solution anymore. 83% of organizations reported successful phishing attacks against them in 2022. These phishing attacks are bypassing legacy AV solutions, and over 50% of these would have been caught by a next-gen solution. So it almost speaks for itself. The percentages and the numbers tell you that an AV solution, I should say, a next-generation AI, ML-based AV solution is the correct answer. A traditional AV is not sufficient in today's threat environment. Ransomware costs are just, I don't want to scare you guys with lots of figures. There are numbers and billions and percents, and they're all high. So I strongly recommend looking into a next-gen AV if you're not at this point. The cost on the front end is less than 1% of the cost on the back end of cleanup. We can go next slide. I don't want to scare people too much with business impact there. So AI and machine learning. Essentially, AI and machine learning are two sides of the same coin. The two work together in tandem to make the new AI solutions work. They're not separate. They're really one thing, but they're two sides of the same coin. All right, we can go next slide there, Ben. So the big things that we're looking for are automated response actions, avoiding financial loss, improved compliance, and potentially lowering cyber insurance costs. So automatic response, next-gen AV automates threat containment and mitigation, eliminating the need for manual intervention. By responding to threats in real time, it significantly improves the response times, minimizing the impact of cyber attacks, allowing IT teams to focus on other priorities, preventing financial losses. By preventing cyber attacks, next-gen AV helps businesses avoid the steep costs associated with data breaches, including losses in revenue, legal fees, regulatory fines, and again, reputational damage. It's an investment in long-term financial stability and security. Improved compliance with continuous monitoring and detailed reporting. Next-gen AV supports businesses in meeting regulatory requirements and maintaining compliance with industry standards. This not only, again, helps avoid penalties, but builds trust with your customers and partners. Lowering cybersecurity insurance premiums. Enhanced AI-driven security features reduce risk exposure, demonstrating a proactive approach to cybersecurity prevention. This can and often does lead to lower cybersecurity insurance premiums, and that'll provide you with additional financial benefits while strengthening your overall security. Next slide. So Sentinel-1 is kind of our flagship offering. It stands out for its cutting-edge AI-driven cybersecurity approach. It combines advanced machine learning and behavioral analytics. It autonomously detects and prevents and responds to threats in real time. Its ability to identify both known and unknown threats ensures robust protection against today's sophisticated cyber attacks, making it a trusted choice for endpoint and network security. We also offer WebRoot. This is our baseline AI protection. It leverages AI and machine learning in a cloud-based environment. The antivirus solution focuses on real-time threat detection and prevention. It's a lightweight design and it ensures minimal system impact while swiftly analyzing behaviors to identify emerging threats. It reduces false positives compared to traditional traditional antivirus. WebRoot is a go-to for efficient, hassle-free protection that doesn't compromise performance. And then at the higher level of protection, we've got a NOC and SOC offering. Our NOC, Network Operations Center, ensures uptime and performance by monitoring and managing network activity, while Security Operations Center specializes in detecting and responding to cybersecurity threats. Together, they provide proactive threat management, ensuring rapid responses to incidents and minimizing potential threats. So I'll go ahead and go next slide there, Ben. So do you think your organization's current antivirus solution provides adequate protection for today's ever-changing threats? Yes, we've got three answers. Yes, it uses cutting-edge AI and heuristic analysis to stay ahead of threats. No, it only protects from viruses from the early 2000s. And C, yes, I haven't seen any viruses pop out of my screen. All right, you guys are good. You didn't fall for the B is the right answer always. The answer is A. Very good. Good job. Excellent. So we can go next slide there, Ben. So I definitely appreciate you guys coming out here for our Tech Tuesday webinar. Our next event that I'm hoping you'll turn out for is our cyber insurance, everything you need to know. This is a great event where you can come out, and if you bring a copy of your current cyber insurance, we'll take a look at your terms and conditions and find out whether or not you would actually get paid out if something happens. A lot of times when people sign up for their web insurance, I should say for their cyber insurance, they think that they're automatically covered because they've signed on the dotted line and sent in a check. But when you sign on that dotted line, you're signing saying, I have met all of the terms and conditions, and I understand I will not be paid if any single one of these conditions is not met. So a lot of times you think you're covered, and when it comes to try to put in a claim, you find out you're not. It's better to find out whether or not you're covered before you're trying to file a claim. So we can help you with that if you're interested in coming up for our next event on cybersecurity insurance.
And I'll just add on to that this is actually going to be hosted with, not just by us, but with Fifth Wall Solutions, which is a cyber insurance brokerage. So this is what they do for a living, and they're really the big experts when it comes to the cyber insurance. So they're going to be happy to answer questions. And like Greg said, if you happen to have an existing policy, you want to bring it with you, they'll review it and gladly take a look at it for you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. Great. So again, we do appreciate you coming out. If you've got any questions or you'd like to learn more about our current antivirus solutions, or if you have any questions after we get off this webinar, feel free to reach out. So it always happens that as soon as you hang up from the webinar, you've got a question. So feel free to pick up the phone and give me a call. I'm here normal business hours every day, Monday through Friday. If you leave me a voicemail on the weekend, I'll definitely call you back as well.
Thanks for attending, everybody.
Everyone, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Have a good day.